Hey everyone, welcome back to the last episode of House of X Powers of 10 in this collection that we've been reading. We're on issue number 6 of Powers of 10. And last time in the last episode, we had the last issue of House of X. So I've been waiting for this for a long time. Let's see how this story finishes up and then see if I'm excited, to keep going with the rest of the split off series and everything for this era. But one more time, here's the credits. The writer, of course, is Jonathan Hickman. He's been writing all the issues. And for Powers of 10, this is issue 6. So the pencilers is R.B. Silva with Pepe Larraz for issue 6. Inkers, R.B. Silva with Adriano Di Benedetto. That's for 1 and 2. Cover artist is Marty Gracia with David Curiel for this one, number 6. Cover art is R.B. Silva and Marty Gracia. And letter is VC's Clayton Cowles. Design, Tom Muller. Assistant editor is Annalise Bisa. Editor is Jordan D. White. And if you want, you can freeze this and read the rest of them. This all came out in 2019. And of course, X-Men is created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. All right, let's get to where we're at. This is going to be chapter 12. So on the thumbnail, of course, you saw this in full color. But this looks like it's Moira, and there's all the fallen X-Men around her. So let's see what this is about. Chapter 12, I Am Not Ashamed. Powers of 10, number 6. Okay, X to the 0 power, the X-Men in year 1. There's Charles Xavier, Professor X. This is like it was in that third issue. I think we read, maybe it was a third issue. And they're at that party or carnival outside. He's walking around and he goes to the bench. He has a seat. He's having a good day and he's thinking. And she says, "Good afternoon." And this is Moira. "And the same to you. Are you enjoying the fair?" Fair. There you go. "It seems like the kind of thing I should enjoy. And yet, I look around at all these people and know it's just a show for those who need one. A distraction from what's really going on, if you will. Mind if I sit? Please." "So are you enjoying the fair?" "I am. It seems like the kind of thing I should not enjoy, and yet a little parting of the clouds, a little shining of the sun, and suddenly everything seems right in the world. Having a good day, are we? Is it that obvious? You'd have to be blind not to notice." So that's good. "In my case, I was just walking through the fair, past the caged beasts and the games of chance, past the fortune teller selling his wares." And then it goes to these fortune cards: the magician, the tower, and the devil. The magician says, "See the magician, the metal metamorph, the great sword, and the girl with 1 foot in 2 worlds. See the tower, the axis, the pillar of collapse and rebirth, the monolith of ascension. See the devil, the red god, and the lost cardinal of the last religion." Then, at the far end of the fair, I saw you sitting there, and I thought to myself, there he is, what I've been looking for. The strong man. I'm not really that strong. And I wondered why, sitting there under parted skies and brilliant sun, was this strong man smiling so. I was, wasn't I? Yes. Do you want to know why? I do, very much so. I was smiling because I have recently had the most wonderful dream of a better world and my place in it. And she pauses. Well, here's the thing, Charles. It's not a dream if it's real. I'm sorry. Do we know one another? Oh, yes, we go back quite a ways. Who are you? Why don't you read my mind, Charles? Read my mind and see. Ah, and if you remember way back, issue number 3, I think it was House of X number 2, maybe. Um, this same conversation happened, and that's where it ended. So now we're gonna see the next part, I guess. I hope. X to the 3rd power, the X-Men, year 1000. The Preserve. So it's jumping way ahead in the future again. Looks like they're standing there. I should know this character, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. They're walking. And they sigh. This aggression is pointless. So someone jumps out and then she freezes them. My augmented brain is far more advanced than yours. By the time your brain finished telling your muscles to move, I had already prepared countermeasures to ensure your failure. Do you have any idea how much faster you would have to be to actually touch me? Please, go eat your food. So I guess these are some mutants that tried to rebel and stop them, and they couldn't. I mean you no harm. Look who it is. You understand it though, right? They just want to be free, not locked up here in this zoo. How could anyone want something they don't know exists? Wanting to be free would mean they are capable of accurately observing this manufactured environment, this system. We have to keep them enslaved. They don't want to be free. They don't know what free is. I think this is simply their nature. Nah, they want to be free. They know what it is. I make sure to fill their heads each day with stories of revolution, of the enslaved rising up to throw down their masters. You'll see. Give it time. But you have no more time, Logan Hallett James. That's a neat trick, speaking English. I'm the librarian. Okay, there you go. Dead languages fascinate me, especially ones that haven't been spoken in centuries. I downloaded it some time ago in the hopes that one day we might have an honest conversation. A nuanced one, for I would not want to be mistaken. Well, what are you waiting for? Get on with it. I was waiting for her. English? Yes. Well, that's a problem. It means you've likely been listening to us for quite a while, haven't you? Eavesdropping. Observation is one of the primary reasons for controlled habitats such as these. Preservation is, of course, the excuse we hide behind. After all, we wouldn't want to see the last group of mutants on this planet go extinct, would we? But if I'm being truthful, the real get for someone in my position is watching how the two of you have responded to various stimuli I've introduced over time. What's that ancient phrase? I wanted to see what makes you tick. And how's that working out for you? So this is some kind of preserve in the crazy future. And with all the cloning and the info they have on all the different mutants and the resurrection, um, I guess they're just brought them back and they keep them in this preserve now. Conclusions have yet to be drawn, but we're nearing them, one way or the other. You've done well surviving. Fortunately, you two have the same blood type, but still, the idea of it. A millennium of depending on one another to survive. It is impressive. Unfortunately, it's likely all that surviving is about to come to an end, for tomorrow is ascension. The phalanx will descend and absorb the entirety of our post human society. All that we are, all that we have done, all that we have known will become one with that collective. Our lives as separate, sentient beings will be over, and we will exist as nothing more than self aware intelligences in the great hive of the phalanx. Then, we phalanx will begin our journey to the nearest black hole, where our collective intellect will merge with the God intellect, a dominion, one that lives outside of space and time, and what was once our post human society will exist forever as part of that Godhead. The world is ending tomorrow? It is. And we're all going to die. Almost everyone will die. The possible exception is you. You, I have arranged to send off planet. Why? Oh, I think you know why. From what I've gathered observing you, if you die before our phalanx makes it to the nearest black hole, then all that I know will not become part of the Dominion. And when you annihilate this timeline or reality, then you'll be right back where you started, knowing what you know without us knowing anything. But if you live past my becoming God, then, existing beyond space and time, we will know you forever. And I think it very likely we would not tolerate something like you having any power over something like us. Okay, that's kind of deep. What kind of game you running, pal? It doesn't make any sense telling us this. Why would you let him finish? It's a fair question, no? Why would I tell you? Why would I be conflicted? My problem is this. I question the wisdom of it, becoming something that's really just an idea of existence, something immaterial. Never touching someone again, never walking through the woods, never seeing the wonders I see with my post human eyes. So I'm faced with the question. Do I let you die, and perhaps in your next life you can prevent our becoming part of the universal machine state, what I suspect might be a fake existence? Or do I send you away and find out for myself? You want me to convince you? Yes. How would you prevent it? With all that you've learned in your many lives, how would you stop us from losing our post humanity and surrendering to the machines? So that's Moira. Oh, I can answer this one. Maybe we go back and start that revolution I promised a little sooner. Put a stop to post humanity at the humanity part. I believe the scientific term is homos novissima, the end of the evolutionary line, the last man there will ever be. Your personal memory may differ, but historical records imply you mutants never really saw what was coming. It's sad, really, the idea that you were what was next, evolutionarily inevitable. We were, we are. Look around you, Moira Kinross. See the cage? That's inevitable. Not you being outside of it. Okay, so this is at the end of all things, or at least the end of this reality. And it's tying up everything that we've kind of been going through in the last 6 issues. Mutants are an evolutionary response to an environment. You are naturally occurring, the next step in human evolution. But what happens when humanity stops being beholden to its environment? When man controls the building blocks of biology and technology, evolution is no match for genetic engineering. What good was one mutant adapting to its environment when we could make 10 supermen? You thought it was the machines that would defeat you, but we just used them to buy time. Sentinels bought us years, and there's Sentinels killing all the mutants. Nimrods bought us decades. I never saw it, and I guess you never will. After all, if you aren't capable of recognizing the real enemy you faced, how could you ever defeat them? Maybe this is just how it ends for you. And if you have no real alternative to offer, maybe this is my fate as well. Immortality, divinity, as I have no choice but to become a small part of God. And then Wolverine sticks him. Dear Lord up in robot heaven, tell me, was that fast enough for you? All this time, all this time we waited to find out why, and now we know. So, you're going to do something about it? Yes. All right, send me on my way. Dang, so Wolverine just killed him. She finds out. And then he's going to kill her, and she's going to go back. Close your eyes, Moira. No, my eyes are open, and they're going to stay that way. Just make it quick. Don't worry, darling. This is what I do. He stabs her. And so ended the sixth life of Moira X, Moira 10. Okay, this is the sixth life? So this was a long time ago, because the newest Moira was in the other one. She's like 10, so I guess, oh, okay. This is what she showed him. That's awesome. Wow. Okay. So we're taking a break. This is an information block, and we'll see what it's going to say and how it's going to relate to everything. Branching humanity. Homo superior. Mutantdom is the natural evolutionary successor to humanity. Homo sapiens. Humanity will reach a natural evolutionary dead end within 2 to 4 generations. Though humans will still outnumber mutants for some time, the asymmetrical strength of the latter will result in a shift in dominance. See the 100 sheep, 10 wolves argument. Homo novissima. Post-humanity is a manufactured branch of humanity not restricted by normal evolutionary constraints. The problem with the technology-based post-evolutionary state is the inevitable but naturally occurring paradigm loop between organic and technological constructs. A machine leap makes a post-human leap possible, and a post-human leap makes a machine leap possible, on and on until one of these two eventually reaches an end state. Okay, wow. So that librarian was Homo novissima, technological human, I guess. Ah, ah, and he starts yelling in his mind. Clicks out. What was, what was, how? It's a bit much. I agree that it cuts at everything you believe, even more so. Still, hard truths are what's called for when dealing with radical realignments to old ways of thinking. We, we lose? No, it's much worse than that. We always lose. Perhaps, perhaps if I were more selective with my future students, or if I make a bolder appeal to our human allies. Surely there's some way to. Why are you smiling at me like that? And then she kisses him. And there's a link or something. I open my mind to you. So you know that I know you, Charles Xavier. I have loved you. I have hated you, and all the emotional complexities in between. Not once in all my lives have you changed. Thank you. It's not a compliment. You're a good man who believes in the goodness of others, and it breaks my heart that I have to break that part of you. But I will break it because that's what has to happen now. I know you will fight me, just like your shade, Eric, will fight me. But this time, I mean for all of us to be together. All of us. You've been dreaming the wrong dream, Charles, and it's long past time that you wake up. So they walk off into the future. Moira's Journal, Entry 5, Xavier. It's taken months, but after allowing Charles Xavier to read my mind, I've successfully recruited him to my cause. Unlike myself, observation has not granted him perfect recall of my past lives, and as I will not permit him to read me a second time, he is now dependent on my interpretation of past life events. Eventually, this will not be enough, and I will have to open my mind to him again. Perhaps he will even act against type and do so himself, but all he will be looking for is confirmation of suspicions he might already harbor. And so, regardless of how long our trial alliance lasts, the truth is my best friend. It's painful how hopeful and idealistic he remains. It's shameful how much he wants to love these people. He will learn. All right. Entry 14, Xavier. I have a choice to make. Until now, I have been lying to myself about what I am and am not capable of. I believe that I could manipulate these men into doing what I needed them to do without any repercussions to myself. I know now just how wrong I was. While we have become romantic, it is becoming clear to me that I am breaking Charles Xavier. And if I do break him, how will he become the man I need him to be in the coming days? My concern, my paramount fear, is that I fracture his psyche and eventually unleash something unexpected on the world. Entry 17, Xavier. I had a breakthrough with Charles today. For the first time, he has stopped trying to fight me on what humanity is and tapped into the potential windfall of knowledge I represent regarding mutantdom. He had the most marvelous idea regarding the potential tandem of several mutants and what they could accomplish if they worked in harmony. The only thing we lack is a mutant with the ability to tweak primal matter or give reality as we know it a push. I have used my expertise in genetic modification to find potential matches for both Charles and me to produce such a mutant. There are several possibilities. Entry 22, Magneto. Charles and I have successfully recruited Magneto. As it is with every meeting of ours, I am stunned at the casual arrogance of this man. If Charles is a rock that I have to wear down over decades, then Eric is something harder and less permeable. With him, loyalty is something that must be constantly earned. He allows for no deviation of intent, no wavering of beliefs. The idea that there will not be setbacks, and that his constant anger will remain tamped down is a fool's dream. I only hope that our consistency of vision and commitment to mutantdom will outlast his rage. One positive thing of note, I have successfully imprinted the idea of stronghold in his mind. Of course, it has always been there, but seeing so many lives where an island, a world, or some other celestial body functions as a safe haven for mutants has left an indelible mark. Entry 29, Apocalypse. Apocalypse has made himself known to the world. Knowing him the way I do, and having aligned myself already with Xavier and Magneto, recruitment will not be an option until a much later date. He is in his raw, primal state, and sees the whole world as unfit, so much so that he will test everything to find something to build on. What must be done now is the avoidance of an apocalypse event, and the prevention of certain Omega-level mutants falling under his sway. So Moira has been behind the scenes trying to work things out through this whole, history. Entry 35 is gone. Entry 48, Xavier. I have underestimated Xavier's infatuation with the possibilities of what can be accomplished with mutant genetic material. Without my knowledge, and against my advice, both Charles and Magneto have traveled to Bar Sinister and recruited Sinister to our cause. What is this thing that men do, where they think they can shape the world to their liking and bend others to whatever they will? This is folly. And if what they told me is true regarding their meeting with him, he has produced his first chimera decades early, and it is Sinister himself. So, if you've gone back and read the other issues and seen all the different events, this is making sense. Because after certain events in those books happen, then this is like her thoughts on those events. So it's kind of cool to see it and see her behind the scenes of everything and trying to match it and mold it to her will. So entry 52, Magneto. We have lost Magneto. I had hoped, given the opportunity, to help make him a better man. Instead, all we have made is an enemy. I am just as bad as they are, if not worse. Dang, what happened? 57. I've decided to remove myself from the world. I have become too active a force in this, and have put both myself and our great plan at risk. Charles and I will use a Shi'ar golem, a living husk, to test our early theories on what can be accomplished with adequate and properly prepared genetic material and a backup copy from Cerebral. We will fake my death using a replica, and I will return to the shadows where I belong. Wow, that's crazy. So that explains why she's not there later. Okay. Yesterday, Krakoa, Moira's no place. What's that? We brought you tea, Moira. There's two ways in and out of my home, Eric. The door you came through, which leads to a secret chamber in the House of X, and the other, which leads to one of mankind's greatest culinary cities. So I really don't need you to bring me tea. I have other means, and we have greater concerns. Only cynics refuse the common kindness of others. They say it comes from assuming there's always another shoe to drop. Ah, so it's tea and other things. Can I assume we now have a government? Yes, the first meeting of the Quiet Council is tomorrow. We have 11 of the 12 seats filled. Okay, so this is before the meeting of the council that was in the last issue. That was in House of X, number 6, chapter 11. Why not all of them? Emma Frost has yet to name a Red King. She's up to something, that one. We're all up to something, Moira. But she understands the scale of all this. Her as much as any of the others, so she won't be a deterrent to our broader plans. Who else was named? Most of it went as we assumed. Apocalypse sits at the autumn table with Charles and me. Jean Grey, Storm, and Nightcrawler sit at summer. They are my children and will do well. Spring is entirely composed of Hellfire, but as we said, the White Queen loves a tight leash, and she can be trusted. Winter is complicated. It's where we parked all of our problem mutants, besides myself, of course. We set Sinister there, because we cannot do this without him, so having him closer is better than not. Exodus has an unyielding code, and we three know all too well the complication an unflinching ideology brings. So they're pouring the tea there. And Mystique will not agree to join without certain guarantees. What did you do? We promised to bring Destiny back. You cannot do that. We know. There can be no precogs on Krakoa. Will not tolerate mutants who can see the future. We know. You don't understand. She has ways of seeing me, and I am a weakness because my death ends all of this. We know. Do you? What happens if we bring her back and she tells everyone what she sees? What if she tells everyone the truth? Moira, we know, and we'll put her off as long as we can. Tomorrow? Tomorrow, not today, all the mutant leaders say. We'll put all of them off, but one day. They deserve to know the truth, just like Charles and I did. You really want them to know that we always lose? The truth is that until now, we have always lost. But this time, it's going to be different, for we are different. And that is all because of you. So here they are at the end of the other one, and they're walking out. There's no denying what you have done, Moira. So now we're jumping to the end of the other issue, when they walked out there and there was a big celebration. You shaped us into this. You made us into this. We are the perfect tools for an imperfect age. You should celebrate what we have done, what you have done. For you have done it well. But now it is time for you to step aside and let us do the good work for which we were created. Just look at what we have made. And what's happening to Moira? That something was in that tea, I guess. Or maybe that was her plan at the end of that email. And yet the thought lingers, is it enough? This is only the start, Eric, but we have to hope so. And if it is not, then we do more. Whatever the cost, whatever it takes. This is all there is, Eric. We live and die with this, you and I. Then I will die for it. And if I fall, then you will raise me up. I will show this world what a real mutant is. Keep talking like that, and you're sure to elicit a response. I am not ashamed of what I am. Let them try to stop us this time. Yes, let them try. So they're looking up at the sky, and I think that's going to be the end of the issue. Yep. I'm not ashamed of what I am, Magneto. All right. That's it. Here's all the covers. We'll go through these. This is the issue 1 and issue 2 of House of X. Issue 3 and issue 4. That was a really good one. Issue 5 and issue 6. And then here's the Powers of 10, issue 1. Really like these covers. These were good too. And these were cool characters that were new. Issue 1, issue 2, issue 3, I like that one. Issue 4, issue 5, and issue 6, full color. Sweet. And then it has all the variants in the back. We won't go through those, but you can freeze it and check them out if you want to. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Dang, they had a lot of variants. And the special flower issues. And the new character variants. It's pretty sweet. They sure did. They came out with all kinds of covers for these. The action figure variants. It's pretty sweet. Man, they had a lot. And then third printings and second printings and first printings. And then they got the connecting variants. Dang, that's pretty awesome. I didn't know they had those. Skip the page. There we go. Sweet. That one's awesome. All right, looks like we got some sketches, different concepts by Pepe Larraz. The hatchery and the hub. The hunters, librarian, Theta Sentinel, Silo Bell. Over there, Nimrod the Lesser. And that's it, guys. And from here, it starts branching out, has its own X-Men and other ones from 2019, 2020. If you want to check those out and continue the story, you can. I might do that too. I don't know if I'll do videos on it, but maybe eventually. But yeah, that was a long journey, but it was good. And I'm glad to finally finish this book and read it. But thanks for joining me. I'll see you again next time with something new, something different, and we'll go from there. All right, later.